I want to thank you all for being here today. Let me first acknowledge the presence of our Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis, who's with us for this important announcement. I also want to acknowledge several members of my cabinet who are here today, including the Acting Secretary of Community and Economic Development, Rick Seiger, who you'll hear from shortly. I want to thank the business leaders who are here today and the labor leaders who are some sitting in front of me, some standing behind me. I want to thank you for your leadership all across this great Commonwealth and for your work to help us get here today. Last July, when I visited McGregor Industries in Dunmore, a 104-year-old family-owned Pennsylvania company, I promised that the Shapiro-Davis administration would be open for business again, that we would create jobs, we would grow the economy, and we would look out for communities that had for too long been left behind, that we would ignite our economy, get it working again, harness our great workforce, our universities, our natural resources to create good-paying jobs all across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And now, just 1 week into my administration, I'm here again with Grace McGregor. Grace, where'd you go? Right here. Who you'll hear from in a bit from McGregor Industries, and all of these great Pennsylvania leaders to announce key steps toward keeping that promise I made over the summer. In a few minutes, I will sign an executive order creating the Pennsylvania Office of Transformation and Opportunity in the governor's office, as well as the Economic Development Strategy Group. That'll help us create jobs and foster innovation, spur on economic growth, particularly in disadvantaged and underserved Pennsylvania communities. Look, I've heard from business leaders and labor leaders alike. Pennsylvania needs a government that works more quickly, that is able to figure out a way to get to yes. And I believe we can get to yes responsibly here in Pennsylvania. We can encourage economic development while protecting our environment and creating real opportunity and protections for our workforce. But it has to start from the top, and we need to have a coordinated strategy here in the Commonwealth. I recognize that time is money, and government needs to be quicker to respond. The Office of Transformation and Opportunity will be that one-stop shop for businesses to help streamline bureaucracy, cut through the red tape, and bring transformational economic development right here to Pennsylvania again. If you want to grow your business or invest in Pennsylvania, you're not going to need to go to 5 different agencies anymore to get all your permits, your approvals, or your funding. The Office of Transformation and Opportunity and Ben Kirshner, who will lead it, will be your point person in that endeavor. The office will convene and collaborate with other agencies in my administration to get you, the good people of Pennsylvania, answers quickly and efficiently. We'll support Pennsylvania businesses who want to grow, and we'll encourage others to move here. To that end, the office will also help develop and lead an overall growth strategy for our Commonwealth with an eye toward investing in communities that for too long have not seen the benefits of economic growth and opportunity. And that work will start with me. I plan to be personally involved and engaged in this work. You will have the governor's ear, and I'll be our state's biggest cheerleader in that effort. To lead this new office, I've appointed Ben Kirshner, a Pennsylvania business leader and entrepreneur, as our Chief Transformation and Opportunity Officer. Ben is a successful entrepreneur who took his own startup and transformed it into a highly successful tech business based right here in Pennsylvania. Ben understands the challenges that businesses face, and he has the experience and vision to lead my administration's effort to make Pennsylvania a national leader on growth and innovation. By virtue of this executive order I will sign momentarily, I'm also creating the Economic Development Strategy Group to bring together leaders from across my administration to develop a strategy to recruit and retain employers, attract leaders of innovation, and create great-paying jobs here in Pennsylvania. We'll develop a whole-of-government strategy to grow our economy and create jobs. We have enormous potential here in Pennsylvania. I see it every day when I traverse this Commonwealth. We have the best, most skilled workers in the nation. We've got world-class universities and research institutions. You'll hear shortly from one of Pennsylvania's higher ed leaders, Carnegie Mellon University President Farnam Jahanian, who's a terrific leader in this effort. And he will work with us to help connect the dots between the university world and the private sector and public sector. From Penn State to Temple to Pitt and of course CMU, we have to connect the dots between our apprenticeship programs, our universities, our businesses, and the public sector. And I believe we can do that work together. And this executive order will help in that effort. Pennsylvania has the opportunity to be a leader amongst the states. A leader on energy, a leader on biotech, a leader on advanced manufacturing and robotics, just to name a few areas where I see great potential and opportunity. Two of our guests here today, Jeff Marazzo and Ron Phillip, who are seated in the audience, are actually great examples of how this all fits together. Jeff is now the retired founder, and Ron is the current CEO of Spark Therapeutics, a leading biotech company based in Philadelphia that was born out of a unique relationship with the University of Pennsylvania, which helped them grow and thrive and put together life-saving therapeutics. Pennsylvania can be a leader. We have great examples here, from the workers that so many labor leaders here represent to great stories like Jeff's that really need to help put us on the map and be leaders across the country. We can do this. We just need a strategy and an administration that's ready to lead. I will be Pennsylvania's biggest cheerleader, and I'm ready to lead. And together with this group behind me, those here, and the thousands of entrepreneurs all across Pennsylvania who are ready, willing, and able to do this work, we are planting a flag here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania today and saying we are open for business and we are ready to compete. My message to companies and workers is clear. Pennsylvania wants you here. We want you to be part of our growth and creating opportunity for all Pennsylvanians. And that work starts today. I'd like to now invite up the Acting Secretary of the Department of Community and Economic Development, Rick Seiger, for some comments. Rick?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Governor Shapiro, for having me here today to be a part of the signing of this critically important executive order. You know, from day one of this administration, the governor has demonstrated his commitment to creating real opportunity and spurring economic growth here in Pennsylvania, taking action, for example, to open the doors of opportunity to workers without college degrees. Now he's planting a flag in Pennsylvania and sending a really clear message, not just to the country, but to the world. We're open for business, and we intend to be a leader in economic growth, job creation, and innovation. As Acting Secretary of Community and Economic Development, I very much look forward to partnering with the new Chief Transformation and Opportunity Officer, Ben Kirshner. Ben and I are fully aligned in our commitment to the business community to make your experience doing business here seamless and efficient. In DCED, we call that moving at the speed of business. And that's actually what I find so exciting about this executive order. It's not just a symbolic step. It's a new tool in our business attraction arsenal, a force multiplier that I believe will enable us to better compete for and ultimately win major business projects that will spark the economy and lead to more high-quality jobs for Pennsylvania workers and their families. It will facilitate important communication and efficiency across the governor's office, the Department of Community and Economic Development, my department, the governor's action team, colleagues at PennDOT, the Department of Labor and Industry, Department of Environmental Protection, and many other state agencies. And it will ensure a comprehensive, informed, and equitable approach to an economic development that benefits all Pennsylvanians. I will say this is only the beginning. Combined with increased efforts in things like site development, smart incentives, and aggressive marketing, we are ready to position Pennsylvania as a national and global leader in business attraction and retention. It's time to roll up our sleeves. The hardworking team at DCED is ready to work with you, Governor, ready to work with colleagues here in the legislature, Ben, and the Office of Transformation and Opportunity to move our Commonwealth forward in the months and years ahead. Working together with our private sector, labor, economic development partners, we will cement our Commonwealth's place as a premier business destination and position Pennsylvania at the forefront of innovation and economic growth. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Chief Transformation and Opportunity Officer, my colleague and friend, Ben Kirshner. Ben.
Thank you, everybody. I first want to commend Governor Shapiro for really listening to the business community while on the campaign trail. Governor Shapiro has heard from the business community and labor, and by signing this order within his first week in office, his administration is saying loud and clear that we will work to create transformational change in Pennsylvania. As a former CEO, I understand what entices a business to relocate and remain in the area. I have hands-on experience working with companies small and large that contracted with my company for their business needs. Now, as Chief Transformation Officer, I will lead the administration's efforts in streamlining processes for business to navigate multiple agencies. I'm proud to partner with Acting Secretary Seiger and the Department of Community and Economic Development to do our part to ensure Pennsylvania becomes a national leader in innovation and job creation. Together, we will ensure the best outcomes for Pennsylvania businesses and maximize the opportunity to attract economic development projects to our Commonwealth. The Transformation Office will support DCED, serving as a hub to facilitate project management and maximize the opportunity to attract transformational economic development projects. I will drive an economic development strategy group chaired by the governor, consisting of the secretaries of the Department of Labor and Industry, Community Economic Development, Transportation, Agriculture, and Education. I'm proud to serve our community in navigating the many challenges businesses face and look forward to giving back to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that was extremely good to me and my family. Thank you very much. I want to now call up Luke Bernstein from the PA Chamber, who's the president.
Thank you, Ben. I want to thank the governor and his team for having us here today. On behalf of the Pennsylvania Chamber, we have nearly 10,000 private sector businesses throughout the Commonwealth. We are very pleased to see today's action. From the campaign trail to the start of the administration, Governor Shapiro has demonstrated a commitment to creating real opportunity and spurring economic growth right here in Pennsylvania. Today's step is important as we continue in that journey. As Governor Shapiro sends a clear message that Pennsylvania is open for business, we're going to be a leader in economic growth, job creation, and innovation. Pennsylvania needs to be competitive. We know this. Governor Shapiro recognizes this, and today's executive order takes that important step of bringing together people and creating a long-term, sustaining, futuristic strategy that will drive economic growth and job creation throughout the Commonwealth. From our outdated permitting reform, from our outdated permitting process and regulatory environment, to our antiquated tax structure, Pennsylvania has fallen behind many competitive states and other nations that we compete with every day for economic opportunities. When you look outside Pennsylvania, Intel, for example, just last year announced a $20 billion investment into Ohio due to our corporate net income tax structure. When you look inside Pennsylvania, for example, it was just last year that a leading manufacturing company chose Arkansas to put a $3 billion investment that would create 900 six-figure salary jobs. This trend must stop. The Arkansas governor at the time said that the facility would be built in Arkansas before you could even get a permit to break ground in Pennsylvania. This must change. Governor Shapiro recognizes this. And that change began last year in earnest, when we took the first step by working in a bipartisan manner to cut Pennsylvania's second highest in the nation corporate net income tax at $999 to take it all the way to $499 by 2031. We discussed this with Governor Shapiro and his team throughout the campaign trail and through the transition. And they recognize the importance, and even the governor has talked about potentially accelerating that change to make Pennsylvania more competitive today. The other key is permitting reform. Governor Shapiro ran on creating a one-stop shop to cut through red tape, reignite the Pennsylvania economy, get government working together so we can allow the private sector to do what it does best, and that's unlock and unleash innovation so we can create job creation right here in the Commonwealth. And today, only 1 week into office, Governor Shapiro is showing that commitment by tackling that challenge with the business community, with labor, and with his cabinet. Our opportunity is right here in Pennsylvania. We want to be, we must be, and we will be more competitive. The governor recognizes this, and I'm so pleased he's committed to making this a reality. I want to thank the governor and his entire administration for bringing us together and his commitment for prioritizing economic development. Thank you. It's my privilege to introduce Grace McGregor. As the governor talked about, a Northeastern Pennsylvania company that's been here for 104 years. And Grace, we want you for another 104.
I'm happy to do it. Hello, my name is Grace McGregor, and I am here today representing my family's business, McGregor Industries. We are a proud union manufacturing and construction company with over 100 years in business here in Pennsylvania. This past July, we hosted then candidate Shapiro at our manufacturing facility just outside of Scranton. After touring our plant and showing off some of the amazing work that our team is doing, Governor Shapiro unveiled his plan for economic development. And today, I am honored to be here as he puts those campaign promises into action. Often we are asked, how does McGregor continue to survive and thrive in over 100 years in business? And the answer is pretty simple. We are constantly reinvesting and recommitting to our workforce. As a result, our team is constantly innovating and moving us forward to figure out the best way to get the job done. We believe that when you invest in people and in family-sustaining jobs, you are making the best possible investment in your company's future. Governor Shapiro shares that vision and has a plan he is putting in action today to help businesses like mine continue to grow and thrive. When small businesses and manufacturers like us succeed and do well, Pennsylvania does well. Thank you for having me here today to celebrate this step forward for the future of Pennsylvania, and I am honored to introduce Angela Ferrito from the AFL-CIO.
Good morning. I am Angela Ferrito, the president of the Pennsylvania AFL-CIO, and I'm excited to be here today on behalf of our 700,000 union members here in Pennsylvania. The first week of an administration reveals the heart of now Governor Shapiro, a governor who cares about next generation union jobs. It's energizing to see economic development paired with quality job creation. To me, that means union jobs. Just 1 week into his administration, Governor Shapiro has affirmed that his priorities are the people's priorities. We applaud the governor and his team for coming out of the gates with vigor and values, and look forward to working with his entire team to ensure Pennsylvania continues to promote union jobs all across all economic development fronts. I'm now pleased to introduce the president of Carnegie Mellon University, President Juhanian.
Go ahead. I'm on it.
Thank you. It's my distinct pleasure to be with you on this exciting day for Pennsylvania, joined by representatives from both the public and private sectors, as well as, of course, our labor leadership. I want to begin by thanking Governor Shapiro for his inspiring vision and his steadfast commitment to the people of Pennsylvania. I also want to acknowledge the leadership of my good friend Rick Seiger, Acting Secretary of Community and Economic Development. As some of you know, Rick has spent his career championing innovation as a catalyst for opportunity. I've had the opportunity to work with Rick for more than a decade. I am confident that his leadership will benefit the entire Commonwealth. I also want to congratulate Ben Krishner on his appointment as Chief of Transformation and Opportunity Office. In this position, his very key position, Ben will help to accelerate Pennsylvania's competitiveness and to secure our role as a national innovation leader. Governor Shapiro's bold vision for establishing the Office of Transformation and Opportunity could not come at a more opportune time for Pennsylvania and indeed for the whole nation. The accelerating pace of innovation and technological advances are profoundly reshaping our society and transforming nearly every sector of our economy, including transportation, manufacturing, energy, agriculture, healthcare, and many more. At this pivotal moment, we're faced with a once-in-a-generation opportunity to carve out a distinctive leadership for Pennsylvania as the frontier for innovation and job creation. We all know this. The core assets, as Governor alluded to, of a dynamic innovation ecosystem is located right here in Pennsylvania. No state in the nation is better prepared to lead this societal transformation. We have world-class universities, leading-edge companies and entrepreneurs, a vibrant workforce from skilled trades and technicians to scientists and engineers, and of course, under your leadership, Governor Shapiro, a powerful alignment of public and private sector that's long overdue to drive economic opportunity. Consider for a moment that Pennsylvania is a global leader in the emerging areas that hold the most transformative potential. And in fact, Governor alluded to that. Life sciences, biotech, energy, manufacturing, AI, and robotics, just to name a few. As a result, in fact, the state's $4.8 billion higher education R&D enterprise is ranked number 4 in the entire nation, enjoying significant growth in recent years and commercialization. We do have a moral obligation to ensure our innovation benefits all citizens and can lead to economic empowerment and a better quality of life for those who have historically been most impacted in recent decades. I believe we have a real opportunity to unlock Pennsylvania's innovation potential, as a number of other speakers alluded to that, and help everyone participate in these emerging economies. The vision that Governor has laid out for the Office of Transformation and Opportunity is laser focused on removing barriers to job and business creation and expanding the geography of innovation to encompass communities across the state, including both rural and urban communities. Today, Governor Shapiro has underscored his commitment to make broad-based growth and access to innovation and jobs a key priority for his administration. And Governor, you have made an inspired choice in selecting Ben Kirshner to lead this office. Once again, I wish to congratulate Governor Shapiro on this exciting moment for Pennsylvania. I know that the higher education community is energized to support you in bringing transformative opportunities right here to Pennsylvania. Thank you again, and congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank our speakers. I'm going to sign the executive order, and then we'd be happy to take some questions. I would note for the record they didn't put a sign here sticker. I figured I learned what I'm doing. Everybody ready? Ready, Ben? You sure, right? Ben? Secretary Siger? Okay. Couple questions, Manuel? We good? All right. Yes.
So how will this office reform the permitting process, and Who is it for? Is this just for big corporations when they're thinking to expand in Pennsylvania?
It's for Main Street businesses, big businesses. Here's the deal. When you're a business trying to work with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it's very rare that you only need help from one particular agency. Typically, you need to get some financing from DCED. You might need some PennDOT work done, which would need Acting Secretary Carroll's help. Perhaps you need some assistance with DEP on a permit, and you need to go there to speak with the team there. This creates a one-stop shop where now you will go to the Office of Transformation and Opportunity, led by Ben Kirshner, and you'll have them shepherding you through the process, working hard to speed up that process and get to a responsible yes. What I've heard from business, and Luke and others I think can attest to this, is that they'd love a yes, but what's really important is that they get a quick answer, even if it's a no, so that they can make adjustments and come back. And so this is open for all businesses across this Commonwealth. Our team will be working close together and coordinating. That's why this group assembled here today of cabinet officials who oftentimes interact with those who are trying to grow their business, expand their farming operation, whatever the case may be. They'll all be working together in concert with Ben organizing that behind them. You guys want to add anything to that? No? Yes.
So with calls for unions and claims that some businesses are engaging in union busting, what kind of legislation on labor rights would you like to see in the future?
Well, I made clear in this process that we would be responsible when it comes to worker rights, when it comes to environmental protection. I think you know my track record as Attorney General was always standing up to protect our workers in the cases of wage theft or worker misclassification. I always protected the rights of individuals to organize. I'll continue to protect those rights and look for ways to expand the right to organize. I'll be looking to work with leaders of both parties in the General Assembly to look at different ways where we can do that work together. Dennis? Oh, I'm sorry, Dennis, you didn't have your hand up. Yes. It's a little hard for me to see. Go ahead.
Oh, is it me? All right.
Yes.
Well, actually, I had a couple off-topic questions, if that's all right.
Can I come back to you on that? I will, though. Okay. Anything on this? Yes.
In another state where I work, they had a similar office that they set up to try and facilitate businesses and track businesses. But my question to you is sometimes transparency was an issue there. If they were dealing with a business that was thinking about coming, their application for a grant, something that they were sending over, how do you keep that transparent? What level of transparency should people expect from corporations that are coming to the state saying, hey, we might want to do business here, but they may not want to be giving away all their secrets in a document that could be obtained through a right to know request?
Yeah, look, certainly if a business is coming here and needs some assistance, whether it's a tax credit, whether it's assistance from PennDOT, something that is going to cause public dollars to be invested in that entity. I'm trying to answer kind of 40,000 feet based on the generality of your question. There's going to have to be transparency. We're going to have to make sure that that information is shared within our administration and to the public if we're going to justify the investment of tax dollars in that effort. Dennis?
What agency, this is a standalone office, is it under somebody else's agency? What's its budget? Where is that coming from? How much do you anticipate it costing? And while it sounds great to say all these agencies are going to work together, my experience is that doesn't always happen. How are you going to make that happen?
Well, your experience is only 1 week old with the Shapiro-Davis administration, and I think we're breaking new ground and we're working together, and this is something really unique that hasn't existed in Pennsylvania before. Part of the way in which we evaluated the different secretaries and different leaders we put in place was whether or not they could work together, whether we could break through the silos and stovepipes that often really slow government down. And I think what you're seeing in the early days of our administration is a willingness of our cabinet, our acting secretaries, to work together, our senior team to be working together, our deputy chiefs of staff to be coordinating folks. I think you're going to see a high level of coordination and cooperation that existed before. As to the first part of your question, Dennis, this will be housed within the governor's executive office. The budgetary authority is coming from existing budget lines, and should any additional dollars be needed, we would be going through the normal budget process for that. Yes, and then Kate will come back to you.
Going back to reforming the permitting process, is this office actually changing that process, or is it
This is going to help businesses, labor, others get through the process in a smoother, more seamless, quicker time frame. As it relates to permitting and licensing and things like that, I'll have more to say on that later this week when we announce some reforms there to speed up that process. So I hope you'll come back then. Yes, Kate. Oh, I'm sorry. Anything else on this?
Yeah, I have one other question. So what's your stance on the constitutional amendment regarding regulations in SB1? You had mentioned how there's a lot of red tape right now, and House Republicans yesterday, they had a policy meeting talking about how that constitutional amendment would remove the red tape.
Well, look, do you have anything else on this topic? Anybody else on this? No? Okay. I'll look forward to working with the legislature on trying to understand what their concerns are with the regulatory process that has led them to this point of contemplating a constitutional amendment. So far, we've had really great dialogue, Democrats and Republicans, leaders of both parties, as well as rank and file members, where they've expressed some concerns that they've had in the past and really some optimism about the tone we're setting for the future of working together, and I'll look forward to working with them. Last question, Kate. Yep, good.
Yeah, these are three, but they're very, very short.
One question with 3 parts.
One question with 3 unrelated parts. So the death penalty moratorium, are you maintaining that from the Wolf administration?
I'm going to have more expansive comments on that in the future. I made clear as Attorney General I never sought the death penalty, and that is not something that I support. And if you'll allow me, I'd like to come back to you in a bit and offer a more comprehensive view on that, but a comprehensive announcement on that, but my views have not changed.
And then the drilling on state parks and forests, any changes to that from the Wolf administration?
I'll answer your question, but to be clear, that is not one question with 3 parts. That is anybody who hops from death penalty to drilling on state lands. At this time, we have no plans to change that.
All right, and then the third unrelated part is priorities on pension plans. Any comments you'd want to make about where you think money should be invested, fees to managers, anything related to that?
Again, another one of those areas where I'm going to have a lot more to say, but let me be responsive to your question. When I led Montgomery County, albeit with a much smaller pension fund, we were a little over $500 million. But setting the total amount aside, I was adamant that we needed to get rid of the Wall Street money managers that were costing the county millions of dollars and frankly leaving us with far worse returns than simply investing in a passive system like a Vanguard. There are other options. We happen to go with Vanguard. And actually, if you study what we did there in firing the money managers, saving millions of dollars that was going to their high fees, Montgomery County's pension fund beat PSERS and SERS over the last decade. I have not come off that belief that we need to get rid of these risky investments, that we need to move away from relying on Wall Street money managers, that we need to protect pension money, and we need to not take the kind of risk that we have. And I believe in doing so, we can get a much higher return. Again, I'll have a lot more to say about that reform that I want to see at PSERS and SERS in the future, but I appreciate your 3 unrelated questions. Thank you all very much.